We've talked about all this, dealing with the difficult child. We have a lot of spoiled children. I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and that's it. Well, I wish that I could come up here and work and do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and still get paid. See, y'all not getting that paycheck yet. And you have to answer to somebody, even if it's God, all of your life. So sometimes you can't do what you want to when you want to. You know, you can do certain things at home, but you can't do them at school. You can't do them at work. You can't do them when you go to college. You can't do them when you go to Jackson and visit a legislative session. You can't do them when you visit colleges and universities. There's protocol for all of that, but learning how to do that. Classroom management. We have some teachers that are brilliant. I promise you. They know everything there is to know about that subject matter, and they'll be teaching away. And not one child in that classroom paying any attention to what they're doing. I'm like, wow. See, I got that auditory thing going on, so when everybody else is talking, I can't concentrate. And they like, okay, and y'all can pass it, yes. So we got to figure out how to keep them engaged in what they're doing. Where do we go from here? We have to develop school-wide plans. We do that in planning, but an area we're really going to have to work on. Teachers work on it, administrators work on it. We use our data with our grades and our behavior and whatever, and our monies that we use, and we try to determine what our needs are for the next year. We have to include more students. We have to include more parents. We have tried to help, ask people to come in. I know it's hard, it's difficult, but in order for us to be the very best we can be, we've got to include them. They had a Ladies of Excellence meeting, and I know Miss Horton, she was just hurt. She was still hurt Monday. And she said they asked the kids that they felt say several questions that they didn't give the answer she wanted. Well, what I told, and I'm sure that y'all told her too, was that, well, that's an area we need to address. Why don't they feel safe or feel welcome or feel like school is important to them? And we haven't had those conversations. And it's just finding time. Can we do it in school? Really, honestly, no. With passing these tests and making these scores. So that's where we're going to need community to come in and help us have those focus meetings. You know, that was excellent. I wasn't, won't go there. But, you know, just to have that conversation and for them to know it's okay to voice their opinions. But understand that sometimes what you want is not necessarily what you can get. But we don't know what we can work toward if we don't know what you think. Our wish list for the community got kind of long. But as you break off into your committees and discuss how the community can help, these are just a few things that we would ask you to reflect upon when you make the decision. Be cheerleaders for learning. I have a lot of parents that come in and say, I didn't like this school when I was here, I didn't like that teacher, I dropped out. They doing just like I did. Well, you should want more. And if you know people who don't want more for their kids, you be a cheerleader for them. You tell them, look, education is that equalizer. You know, we do this racial thing. We had the quota thing, and you know, we got advantages because we were black, and a certain amount of us had to be hired. But that quota thing is gone now. So education is that key to your child being successful in whatever they do. So be cheerleaders for that. Provide opportunities for your child to study. You don't have to have a desk, kitchen table. You don't have to have a kitchen table on the couch. You don't have to have a couch sit on the floor or on the front stool or wherever on your bed. But do a time when they can go in and they study. You ask them if they have homework. They come home and they say no. You say, no, you lying. You got something to do. Even if I have to have a magazine for you to read for 30 minutes if you don't have any work to do. So provide that opportunity. Have frank discussions with them about their behavior. What did you say? I'm so pleased that my parents are transitioning now into what did you do? What did you say? Was that appropriate? A lot of our parents don't know what appropriate behavior is. We have some very young parents in the community, and I'm not saying anything in a negative way. It just is what it is. So we have to train some of our parents to show what's expected. Parenting workshops would be good, but parents need to decide what you need, not me. You need to decide. Early education. Child can't start first grade and not know their left from their right, or their colors, or their numbers, at least from 1 to 10, or haven't been read to, or not knowing a nursery rhyme because they're already behind. It starts from the womb. When your child is pregnant, or a person is pregnant, they need to be reading to them then. But when those babies come up before they go to bed at night, I'll be asleep, they'll be asleep too. But we would have read 2 or 3 sentences before we nodded off and went. But read to your children. We need a social worker. I don't know how the community can help with that other than maybe working through y'all through grants or whatever. But we need somebody to help some of our kids who are in dire need. And I don't have the funds. I'm not a social worker. The boy told me he had some problems today, and I'm like, really? I mean, because I'm not that professional to help them, but we need a social worker here in this area. Read at home, early education. Come to PTA meetings. When I ask about 1% money, last year we got $222,000 in title funds. It is going to be cut this year. I don't know how much we'll get, but when we get that number and we call that meeting, parents get 1% of whatever we get to do what you think is best. So I need y'all to come and tell me what we need to spend the 1% on. I need for y'all to come, whether it be to provide transportation to a national PTA meeting, to do a parenting workshop, for you to come in and do a parenting workshop and get paid for doing it. Whatever we need, I need that input from you all. Together, and it takes a village. That whole adage hasn't changed. We can be successful, but it's going to take all of us. Have we all been hurt or angry about something that didn't go the way we thought it was going to be? Yes. Do I go home with stress down my neck a lot of times? Driving around deer or whatever? Yeah. Because I'm trying to make sure that I'm making the best decision for everybody involved. And sometimes that decision is not the one that everybody agrees with, but trying to do the best thing for all the children here. So I told Ellen that I think in life I'm a change agent. I've been here 2 years and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'll be moving on. A lot of whole reasons behind that, but it's going to be in me to make sure that the next person in here carries on. And they're going to have to with y'all. So you have to demand that. We're just starting it, but you have to demand it of that new person. Give them that stress y'all gave me when I first got here, and make sure that they're doing the right thing for children here at Holmes County. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions?
I got a question, Ms. We've been having a concerned citizen meeting for the last 4 Saturdays, and one of the teachers came to our meeting last Saturday, and he was emphasizing the fact that a lot of our kids that we having a problem with killings and gangs and drugs in our community. That's something new to us. And he said the kids that getting involved, the kids that dropped out of school, they act up in school. And the reason that they're acting up in school because they can't read. And they want to hide when the teacher calls on them to do something, they act out aggressions simply to be embarrassed, not to be embarrassed because they can't read. And he was recommending, we're trying to organize 100 black men of Holmes County.
Okay.
And the sheriff said, and the judge said he'll assign some of these kids to us. And some of the questions that we were discussing is, how can some people that's willing to do certain things, they want to help the kids learn how to read, how can they get kids recommended to them or get involved with the kids? In the past, the district hadn't been on wholehearted behind parent involvement inside the school because we've offered to be hall monitors and do what we can to help. And a lot of people just didn't feel welcome coming to the school trying to do anything. So I was wondering what would be a good way to.
First, I think once we get into the breakout sessions and talk about things that we need to do, that needs to be something that's placed on the agenda. And it needs to, I was talking to Ellen again, we just do this thing where we get and talk about things, but one of the problems is not a problem because I would like parents to be here.
Right.
But they have to have a background check. And I think that's what, $30, whatever. And a lot of parents don't have the $30 or don't want to do the $30 just to come in and monitor for 30 minutes in a classroom. So she suggested maybe community people might go to the police station maybe to see if there's a break or to get a certain group of parents to go in that we can call upon at any time who've done the background check to come in. I think that is paramount. We've started here the Ladies of Excellence, where we're teaching ladies how to be ladies and what they're going through and with them on is for women. We have a gentleman's club that's geared toward men here at the school. I went in and I spoke to them, and that was it. They had an actual meeting today. Sheriff Marsh came in and talked with them. We have several other people coming. One thing my husband has always said to me is that you're a strong woman, but you can't teach my sons how to be men. I can do that. So I need men to step up because we have a lot of single parent homes where mama's trying to do it all. And he's right, I can't because I've never been a man. I can tell them what I want them to do, but I can't feel what you feel in certain situations and on how to handle those things. So we do need a lot more men here in the community to work with our young guys. Tell them so I don't have to tell them to pull the pants up. I don't want to see their underwear and what that means,
Right. Well, that might be part of the solution to the background check. The sheriff would do anything to help curtail all this work that our kids are creating for him. And he might be willing to do free background checks.
Well, that would be something that's great coming from the community that would definitely help the school. Any other questions?
I do have a